Hey everybody, this is JD Gaming back with an opening of the Synchron Extreme Structured Deck box for you guys. I was actually planning on this time just opening one of these on camera and then holding on to the rest, just so I have a few of the newer cards to actually try in some builds. But then I didn't really like how the shipping took away so much when I tried selling these things last time, so I'll hold on to them for a bit. Maybe in the future when I'm not in my dorm and I don't have to use expensive methods of shipping, I may consider selling it, but for now, nothing is for sale or trade or anything. You'll see all the stuff that is for sale or trade in the binder video that will be coming out today, and that will basically be singles. It won't be whole decks, so please do not ask about decks for sale. Other than that, we're just going to go through. In case you're interested in what the box looks like, this is the exact same art as they had in the OCG, and they changed the kind of like a clip art type of logo for Rev It Up. I don't know exactly how much I like that, but it is that image on both sides. The front just looks like this, bottom nothing special. And then on the back, this is essentially what you would expect to see on the front, or on the back of the actual package itself. So we're going to go ahead and just open this thing up, this display box. And this should come with 8 of the new structure deck. So I'll open one of these on camera. I may actually open a playset of these things just so that I have the new stuff, but you guys can see what it's all about. So we'll stand this thing up right here. Pop this one out there. All right, so looks like that, you might see these at your locals here. And let's just open one of these guys. So this, I'm actually really surprised, looks very similar in terms of set and just overall appearance to the OCG version. If you haven't checked it down below, please check the link in the description box. I actually opened an OCG version of this that I was able to get on my vacation this summer, but I'll be comparing the actual list between the two versions and showing you what has changed. And interestingly, it hasn't changed that much this time, although it usually changes quite a lot. So we, of course, first the non-deck things. We have our rulebook. We always have it. This is rulebook version 9.1, so I guess they changed it slightly. Here is your little dueling guide thing. We basically want to get him out, and yeah, hopefully you won't have to special summon your other guy, but you'll still be able to negate your opponent, win with it. And then, here is the advertisement that says, buy all this stuff because we want your money. This mat actually looks pretty much exactly the same. The only thing is they did change this to English, of course, but we have the Excel Synchron, the Junk Warrior, Excel Synchron, Junk Warrior, Stardust Warrior, and the Jet Warrior. So very cool paper mat. Maybe this is one that's worth actually laminating or something. I don't know. It's pretty nice in design because it does have the new Synchrons. And let's get started with the actual deck itself. So one thing right off the bat that I'm noticing that is a difference from the OCG is that we don't have kind of these parallel rare foils on our new cards from the starter deck. So this is just a plain ultra rare, but it is still very cool nonetheless. So this thing has the ability to negate inherent special summons by your opponent, and then it comes back just like Stardust Dragon, so very cool new boss monster. Jet Warrior is an ultra. It used to be super in the OCG, so that's pretty cool. You basically get to banish you get rid of one of your opponent's cards by spinning it back to the hand, kind of like a Mistworm, and you just need the Jet Synchron for it, but since Jet Synchron is pretty much glow-up bulb, it's fairly easy to do. And we have our super rare Jet Synchron here. This basically lets you discard a card from your hand to revive it from the grave, which is a very nice ability because you can get rid of your dandelions or your, whatever you'd like to bring back with your junk Synchrons, or maybe just set up something like Level Eater. So very powerful card. And it looks like we got a foil version of Scrap Fist. This thing was just a common parallel rare in the OCG, but it basically gives your Junk Warrior the ability to kill anything that it battles and get rid of it for sure. It's pretty much how to describe it. It has 5 different abilities. You can read those. And then we have a fifth foil third super, and an XL Synchron. So this thing basically lets you modulate its level, increase or decrease it by the level of a Synchron you send from your deck to the grave, and that will make it very useful for summoning things like Quasar or your Stardust Warrior, because it itself is a Synchro tuner monster. So right there are our new cards. Very cool. And then I'll go through the list itself very quickly. So you have Rush Warrior. I think this is a new card. Basically, you get to double your Synchron's attacks, or your Warrior's attacks. We have a new card called Synchron Carrier. This lets you normal summon another Synchron, so you kind of normal him into another Synchron. It's okay in the starter deck if you only play with like 3 copies of the starter deck, but I don't know how good that card really is in a real deck nowadays. Then we, of course, have 2 copies of Junk Synchron. We have a Quick Draw Synchron, Drill Synchron, Turbo Synchron, Unknown Synchron, Fleur Synchron, which I think only came out in like a PSP game as an Ultra promo, so it's nice that they threw it in there, but no one has Chevalier de Fleur. We have Synchron Explorer and Speed Warrior, and let me just get these out of the way for a second. I didn't realize I'd be stacking all these on top of each other like this. So, quick cleanup here. So far, everything is exactly the same in terms of the cards that are present in the deck. We have then Sonic Warrior, Doppel Warrior, which is a very welcome reprint in a deck like this, Quibbled Hedgehog, Tuning Wear, another great reprint for this strategy. Swift Scarecrow is a good generic reprint. Level Eater is good. Effect Veiler is very good just in general and for this deck. We have a Genix Neutron, Genix Ally Birdman, and Plague Spreader Zombie. 3 very, very powerful cards. And of course, our pair of white and black dragons, so we can actually use these things. If you buy a set of these, you have a triple set of this, you have a play set, you can go through and actually use these as synchro material, so very nice there. And then, I'm actually kind of surprised they kept these new cards as commons, but we have Limit Overdrive. So this is a quick play spell that says you can return a tuner synchro monster and 1 non-tuner synchro monster you control to the extra deck to special summon a synchro from your extra that has a level equal to the combined levels of those 2 monsters that were on the field, ignoring summoning conditions. You can activate 1 Limit Overdrive per turn. So I actually made a mistake when I explained this card for the OCG version because I wasn't aware of how everything worked, and I was working off a translation. But basically what it says is, you can summon the Quasar, much like this picture is showing, if the sum of your 2 monsters, your Synchro Tuner and your Synchro Non-Tuner, happen to add up to 12, because you will be preventing the, summoning conditions, ignoring the summoning conditions of the Quasar. And it does say special summon, though, and it doesn't say synchro summon, so I'm guessing you wouldn't get Quasar's extra attacks ability and some other nuances like that. So just do keep that in mind, but it's a very interesting quick play spell version of Urgent Tuning. It's a little more specific in how it works, but it's a fairly cool card, and I really do like the artwork at least. And then we have Starlight Junction. This field spell lets you sack any tuner monster you have to summon a Synchron from your deck with a different level from the monster you got rid of. So it gives you a little more consistency and a little more mileage out of your Synchrons, especially things like Jet Synchron, which will get itself back anyway. And then if you happened to synchro summon during your opponent's turn, then you can target 1 card on the field and shuffle it into the deck, which is a very powerful controlling disruptive ability, especially in a deck that now can play 3 Formula Synchron and 3 XL Synchron if you somehow find the room for 6 cards in your extra deck just to be tuners. But, the ability is at least there. And yeah, you can use each of those abilities once per turn. It's a very cool new card. I'm surprised these 2 aren't foils, but, it is what it is. We have Tuning, great reprint. Rhoda, always good. Warrior Returning Alive, makes me want to play Bubble Beat. We have Dark Eruption to bring back, we can bring Level Eater, Junk Synchrons, things like that. 1 for 1, of course, is great. Night Beam is a very welcome reprint. Double Cyclone, so this is one of the cards that was changed. It used to be Pot of Avarice in the OCG, but of course, we don't have that card. They could have given us a reprint for something like Pot of Dichotomy, but considering the fact that they already gave us Night Beam, Effect Veiler, all the great tuner monsters like Plague Spreader and Genix Ally and all these other things, I really don't think it's something to complain about that we didn't get a Forbidden card and instead got a Double Cyclone. Still an interesting card that still fits Yusei's deck theme, and that's why it's in here. It's Yusei's card. Then we have Scrap Iron Statue is another new card here. This thing lets you prevent the activation, basically, of a face-up spell or trap your opponent has on the field, and then destroy it, and you can set it back face down, like the Scrap Iron Scarecrow. And then the statue can let you special summon a junk monster from your grave if it's sent to the graveyard through any means. It's an if you can effect, which is awesome. It won't even miss timing. Then we have Scrap Iron Statue, or Scarecrow, my bad, Limit Overload, Call of the Haunted, Imperial Iron Wall, which is a fantastic reprint as well, and of course Solemn Warning. This thing replaced Solemn Judgment in the deck because the OCG has Solemn Judgment at 1, we have Warning at 1, but Solemn is at 0, or Judgment is at 0, so they decided to go with this option. I'd say out of the two changes they made, this is probably the better one because we can actually play Warning, and we would consider playing Warning. I don't know how many people are going to play Double Cyclone, especially in a deck like this, but, you know, these are the only differences, so overall, very phenomenal job on Konami of America's part, bringing back pretty much the exact same deck with only the Forbidden cards swapped out. Very nice choices there. And then, of course, the Junk Warrior to give us our fourth Warrior, I guess, as well as the fourth Synchro monster in this deck, third Warrior, and then you can, of course, summon it off of Junk Synchron or bring it out with Stardust Warrior. So, in the comment section down below, be sure to let me know what you think of the deck overall, what you're excited about as prints of this deck, whether it's reprints like the Warning and, you know, the Night Beam and stuff, or just things that you're excited to try out in terms of the new stuff. There's plenty of stuff for everyone here. And yeah, I'm personally really excited to go and test these new cards out in some sort of crazy build. So thanks guys, this is JD Gaming. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.